At UFC 321, we saw fighters struggling to damage their opponent when in top position. Today, we will go over key concepts and positions for successful ground and pound to make sure that when we get on top of our opponent, we put them to sleep and not the fans. Key understanding. What fighters tend to worry about when in top position is losing the advantage they worked hard to achieve. The misunderstanding here is that this is an advantage. It isn't. It only becomes an advantageous position when you use it to launch offense. That can be both striking or trying to advance position, but you have to be doing one of those two things to make the top position advantageous. It's similar to backing your opponent against the fence. You've done a good thing to put your opponent in a generally disadvantageous position. You are now in a fantastic position for offense, but if you do absolutely nothing, it doesn't matter. A fighter like Jailton Almeida seems to operate in a jiu-jitsu frame of mind. When he gets top position, he really does not want to lose it, and he prioritizes control over everything. In MMA, this is a mindset which will not only get you hated by the fans,
"You're not a fighter, get the f*** out the sport, straight up,"
but also not come across well to the judges. If the judges are doing their jobs correctly, they are focusing on which fighter is doing the most damage, no matter the position. So as a grappler, we have to throw away the jiu-jitsu frame of mind and adopt the MMA frame of mind. The way I have done this is to structure positions in a hierarchy, similar to how they do it in jiu-jitsu. It is separated in 4 levels. Level 1 is controlling one limb. Level 2 is controlling 2 limbs, on and on. The higher the level, the more effective ground and pound we can land. What I have defined as controlling is whether or not the limb can be used in a defensive manner against strikes. For example, in the mount position, the opponent has both arms free to defend against strikes, but their legs are largely controlled. The shift from jiu-jitsu mindset to MMA mindset is trying to get to the highest level of ground and pound positioning. The ways that you do this are 1. Striking constantly. Take Khabib, perhaps the greatest ground and pound technician ever. He takes small breaks from striking to get to control positions, but he is pretty much constantly striking. Instead of trying to hit that pass he learned at Tuesday's gi class, he lets the striking open up opportunities to get superior control positions to then again throw more strikes. And number 2, positions to punch. He doesn't hunt positions that are traditional, he hunts positions that control the opponent where his arms are free and he can let go punches, along with controlling as many limbs as possible to get off the most effective damage. So let's take a look at 2 positions that aren't necessarily jiu-jitsu positions, but more MMA ground and pound ones. A lot of times we see fighters get into the close guard and not be able to land effective ground and pound. Sometimes even the bottom fighter will be able to do more damage with elbows from their back. When in the close guard, we should be focusing on one thing: getting to our feet and throwing punches. You may be worrying about the classic day 1 jiu-jitsu sweep that knocks you down when standing in close guard, but there is no need to fear this.
We just pinch our legs together. When she goes to get up from here, she can't do it. I can start lifting my partner's ankles. Now from here, as we both go to heist, I get up on top every time.
Often when standing, the bottom fighter will abandon the close guard and try to use their legs to throw up kicks or put feet on the hips to get some space. Firas Zahabi has a great video speaking all about this position.
Sure, my hips are forward, he's not able to upkick me. You could see my right hand is controlling his ankle here. And this hand right here, you see his foot here that's on my hip? I gotta get rid of that. I always want to have at least one of his feet under control. If both his feet are on my hips, it's gonna be hard for me to attack him. I need to always take one foot off my hips at all times. Okay, so watch how I do that here. I'm either gonna parry them to the inside or to the outside. So watch here. So I'm parrying this one to the inside. Okay, I'm deflecting his leg towards the inside in this direction here. And when I do that, I'm gonna rotate my hips. When I rotate my hips, it's gonna load this punch here. The rotation is gonna help me deflect his foot and load my punch. And that's gonna allow me to do 2 things at once: set him up for a strike and generate power in my strike. Now, if you look here, this time, as soon as I landed the strike here, he put his feet back on my hips because he wants to push me away. Now my hands are going on the inside here, and they're gonna push him towards the outside. I'm doing the same thing on this side as well. Hands go in, deflect his legs to the outside. When I deflect them to the outside, you're going to notice I'm going to rotate my hip again and load my punches. Always rotating the hips. Look at that hip rotation here. That's how I strip his feet off my hips and generate power.
This position works even better when you are able to pin your opponent against the fence. In the Khabib versus McGregor fight, Khabib did this with great effectiveness. This position gives your opponent 2 losing decisions: give up your back or continue to get hammered. Power rides. I'm sure most of you know who this man is. Craig Jones, primarily known by MMA fans for being Volk and JDM's jiu-jitsu coach, released an instructional called Power Ride. In the instructional, he goes through how traditional jiu-jitsu positions like side control aren't really the best for control, but positions like splitting the legs, riding the legs, and shelving the legs control our opponent in place much better, while also freeing our arms up to strike with power. I strongly suggest you go check the instructional out, but looking at each position individually, you can see splitting the legs involves taking our shin and pinning their bottom leg while shelving their top leg. Riding the legs involves shin pinning behind both knees, and shelving the legs, which involves trapping both legs in a triangle, which immobilizes them. A key concept I took away from the Power Ride instructional is using techniques with our legs, like shin pins and shelves, to not allow the opponent on bottom to put their feet on the floor. If you remove their ability to get their feet to the floor, they can't effectively bridge or make any explosive movements. So in ground and pound situations, if we can pin our opponent's legs with our legs in a way that doesn't allow the bottoms of their feet to touch the floor, then we can keep them in place to land effective ground and pound. So today we discussed the mindset shift from jiu-jitsu mindset, which prioritizes control in traditional jiu-jitsu positions, to a MMA mindset, which prioritizes damage and finding positions that allow for the most effective striking. We then looked at the level hierarchy for ground and pound positions, where instead of looking for mount or side control, we search for positions that disable the most amount of your opponent's limbs from defense at the same time, and that allows you to use your limbs for offense. And finally, we discussed 2 positions: number 1, standing over the opponent, which was explained by Firas Zahabi, and number 2, the Power Ride positions from the almighty Craig Jones. Thank you for watching.